Hi, welcome to 60 Minutes with PD. Another Saturday evening, just pressing in with wisdom into all our relationships. Welcome to 60 Minutes with PD, your fastest moving 60 minutes of the day. Hi, London Lee Texco. Chica, how are you? Davidson, how are you? Lights, boy, how are you? Sally, how are you? Jackie, Margaret, how are you? Margaret, how are you? Benjamin, how are you? Benjamin again, hi, Benjamin. Welcome to 60 Minutes with PD. We're loading up right now. It's going to be our fastest moving 1 hour of the day. Yes, it's every Saturday at 8:30, right here. 8:30 right here at PIIDII19 on Instagram. Please follow me. Tell your friends to follow me. Tell everybody to follow us as we do this journey together. Thank you for the comment. Yes, Azuaye, I see you. You owe me a phone call. Chi Agozie. Erica, Yasmin, how you doing, Yasmin? Berry, Mildred, Odochi. How are we all doing? It's amazing. This is 60 Minutes with PD. It's our fastest moving 60 minutes of the day. It's never enough, but it's okay. I'll be back next Saturday. Same time every Saturday. Yes, today we're talking about red flags. Red flags. While I'm here, please feel free to just ask me any question at all, or every question I can get to I will answer right here on the platform, and if not, I'll make a video and I'll post it so that you'll get your question answered. Okay? So yes, you can't wait, Natalie. Yes, I am eager to spit it out. How are we all doing? It's amazing. Today's topic is red flags, signs to watch out for, warning signs to slow down. You see, like while you're dating, like we said last week, you are choosing. Like we date like we're married, and that's why we're in trouble, because we see all the red flags. Some we recognize that they're red flags, but we keep going, and why? Because we're choosing. Those red flags are there for you to see. You know what? This is not the way to go. And maybe sometime in the future, we're going to discuss green flags. There are some things, if you find in a person, they are priceless treasure. You want to grab them quickly and run to the altar and just sign on the papers quickly, So we're going to talk about green flags as well very, very soon. But today we're talking about red flags, caution signs, slow down signs, get out signs, like, if you see this, I'm out. And then run for your life signs. It's like, I'm moving, I'm changing my address, I'm changing my number, I'm changing everything because I'm like running. So there are all kinds of signs, and we need to start to get to like, we see the signs sometimes, but we don't recognize the signs. We don't know what they mean. We don't know the consequence and the effect of these signs in a person that we are going to live all our lives with. So like tonight, we're just going to open up on a few things. And I can tell you this, that some things that I say, you will say, well, this doesn't seem like a red flag. But trust me, I've counseled enough people to know. And it's because we thought they weren't red flags. That's why we went on. That's why we got into that relationship. And that's why, it got really bad. And I'll tell you this, if we recognize, if we see all the red flags and we recognize them for what they really are, we'll end up choosing the right person. And I'll tell you this, when you have chosen the right person, marriage is so much easier. It is so much sweeter. It is so much nicer. It's just amazing when you've chosen the right person. So like when you're struggling, it's because you didn't see the red flags, or maybe you saw the red flags, and that's something else that we'll talk about tonight. Some people, we see it, but we don't know it's a red flag. So we embrace it, and then we keep going till stuff happens, and then we are crying, trying to get out. Okay, fantastic. So we're on 60 Minutes with PD tonight. Red flags are negative traits to watch out for in your partner while dating that will predict the problems you will have with them when you marry them. So it's a red flag, you notice it, and it will predict to you what kind of problem you will have with this person if you move forward and you make this permanent. So that's what a red flag is. If you know and catch most of the major red flags, you will not end up with the wrong person. Now, this is it. If you actually do see the flags and you respond appropriately to the flags, you will not end up with the wrong person. which means you end up with the right person and life will be happy ever after. Everybody just say happy ever after. So amazing. Red flags come in categories: warning signs to slow down, warning signs to get out, warning signs to run, warning signs to just look before you cross. You know, there's some signs like you look well before you cross. Okay, then of course there are stop signs, and of course there are run for your life signs. That's amazing. You know, some red flags require that the person be cancelled, that intervention be done. You get, before we go ahead. So not all red flags mean get out, but some red flags will cause you to sit down with this person and say, look, this is what I've seen. For me, it's a red flag, and it needs to be addressed. So, you know, let's get counseling, let's get inner healing. That's a big thing too, because most times when people hurt people, it's because they're hurt. So they need inner healing. There's something wrong on the inside. And it will surprise you to find out that for most people that are hurt, it happened a long time ago. It could be when they were kids, some abandonment by their father, something happened as a kid, and so they're hurt, they're damaged on the inside. So they're carrying that around, and they're hurting people around them because they can't help themselves. And there are some red signs that, to be quite frank, the people cannot help themselves. They need help. And that's why we did a teaching last week. Go and, you know, it's about dating. No, and then we did one on abuse. Watch the one on abuse, watch the one on dating, and it will shed a lot of light on a lot of things that we're saying right now. Okay, so now, most times it's not that you didn't see the red flag, but it's that you didn't realize it was a red flag. And because you didn't realize it was a red flag, you allowed it, you got into the marriage, and now it's a problem. Okay, it's very important that you respond to red flags that you see. Never just see a red flag and keep quiet. If you keep quiet with that red flag, it's going to follow you into, if it follows you into a marriage, it's till death do us part most of the time, but it's for a long time. And even if you're going to get out, it's going to hurt. You're going to experience a lot of pain that you could avoid if you responded to the flags. Okay? Regular effective, now listen really, really carefully. Regular effective counseling is important while you are dating and even after you're married. It's just so important. Like, counseling is not because there's a problem. Counseling is just to make things get better. And there's always room to make your relationship better. So I hope that we get that. This is your 60 Minutes with PD. It's relationships that are worked out, that are worked on, that work. So please follow me right here on PIDI19 and watch our videos on YouTube at PIDI19@gmail.com. So the first red flag that I'm going to talk about is pride. Now, and I'll tell you what's this thing about pride. Most times we see the pride, but we don't know it's a red flag. We don't know the implications of what we've seen. So we actually just let it go. But the thing is this: most red flags that we will talk about tonight, and most red flags that exist, come from a root of pride. So that's one thing you got to look at in people. See how, like, have a pride meter in your hand, like you're measuring their pride. And if it's at a point, like, you know, there's a certain level that you see pride in a person, that you need to be cautious, extremely cautious. And I'll just throw it out there. A proud person, the problem with pride is that you can't teach them, because they think they know everything. So you have a person that, and so if they come into the relationship with any kind of problem, if they're proud, that problem can never be solved, because they're just not going to receive any form of correction, like any form of communication, just any form of change. They're just going to resist it, because their way is the only way. And when they're dating you, because they're dating you, most people tone down the pride level. So watch out for it, to you and to other things. But there are simple ways to find out. I mean, somebody who goes out of their way to defend their position, even on little small things that don't count, you know, it's a sign that this person, you know, there's a pride problem here. If you have to think twice to talk to your partner, there's a pride issue going on, because if they were not proud, you would talk to them. It's, you know, so just watch out for pride. It's a big thing, and we're going to talk about it. Most things have a root in pride. So watch out. It's a big red flag. Second thing is unteachability. If a person cannot be taught, it's a huge problem. It's a bigger problem than most people realize. because you think, the person can't be taught, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. If you talk to the people I'm counseling, it's a big deal because they can't be spoken to, they can't be taught. If you have a person that you cannot give a video and say, you know what, let's either go watch this video, let's talk about it, or let's watch this video together, or a book, or I'm going for a conference or something, let's go. If they're just not open to any of that, you have a problem. Because whatever level they are at is the level that they're going to remain. They're not going to improve because they're not teachable. And people who are not teachable don't communicate well either. So if you have a person that each time you communicate with them, it's a problem, and you've got some toxic topics. Toxic topics are topics that you can't talk about because they just won't let you go there. And there's a root of pride in that. So did we get that? So they've got to be teachable. If they're unteachable, it's a problem. Okay? How to identify them? Anyone who will not read a book, I said that seminar, yes. You cannot talk to them, yes. A person will not take advice. Yeah, and that's true. They don't take advice. Anybody that just struggles with taking advice, be very careful, because when you start to live together and you're married, when stuff comes up and you're trying to advise them, or you want somebody to advise them, they're going to resist. But they showed you the signs before you got married. And why this is painful is this: they could be doing something really hurtful to you, really painful, really hurtful, something making you cry every night, but they're not going to listen to advice. They're not going to back away from it, because that's the way they were before you met them, and that's the way they're going to be after you're married to them. So be very, very careful. Cheating is a big thing. Now, if your partner cheats, it's like this: cheating is a big thing, but if they've had a change of mind, if they've repented, it's okay. But an unrepented cheat, it's like, don't go there with them. Don't. It's too painful, it's too hurtful, it's too hard to get out of. So if they are unrepentant in their cheating while they're dating you, what are you waiting for? Get out. And most people that stay in those relationships is that you think there's nothing better out there, but that's a lie from the devil. There's always a better man, always a faithful person out there, or a faithful woman right there for you. So that's a lie. Believe it, for real, that there is something better for you. I'm going to move really quick because time is really moving fast tonight. Anger is really bad. Anger is bad. Uncontrolled anger is bad. If you see anger, even if it's toned down because they're chasing you. It's toned down because it's a dating. They want to catch you. Once you've signed on the dotted lines and it's done, you said I do forever, and they have an anger problem, it's going to come out. You're going to get control with anger. You have no idea how many women tell me that each time I try to raise a point in the house, I'm controlled. He gets angry and I can't say anything. Nothing gets improved. So this is reality. This is reality. Like a person with anger will control you with anger, will torture you with anger, will just so when they're nice, they're nice. And most people that have an anger problem, when they're nice, they're really sweet. They're really, really sweet. But it's a problem when they get angry, they'll beat you up. So it's a cycle. Don't let the sweetness, take your eyes away from the real problem. And actually, they should get help. Same thing with anger. With anger, now listen really close. Get them counseling. Get them in a healing, which involves forgiveness and deliverance. Pray over them and get them to get personal prayer accountability, and they must have some kind of oversight over that relationship or marriage. So it's a sign. It's a big caution sign. It's not, you don't have to take off and run, but if they don't make themselves available to these things, take off and run. If the person can submit themselves to the process to just get out of it, it's okay. But if they don't, run for your life, because life with can you imagine you're married for life with an angry person who is just like letting it out on the fury, the rage on you regularly, and you're tied up in marriage? It could be a nightmare. Don't do it. Okay? Control. Like if you're with a person that you can see that they're controlling, they're trying to control your movement, control what you wear, control what you say, cut you off from your friends. There's a way that a person starts to try to just control you, that this is a bad sign. If they're trying to control you while all they have with you is a dating relationship, can you imagine the kind of control that they'll try to exert on you when they actually have you in their hands? It's like, you're in my house, I have the papers, it's signed and it's done. It could be rough. So if you notice control, run. You're on PIIDI 19. This is 60 Minutes with PD. Please follow me and get your friends to follow me. Anyone that has a capacity to fight you, while you're dating, see, do they have the capacity to fight you? If they have the capacity to fight you over anything at all, that's a bad sign. It's something that needs to be looked into, because you don't want to be in a marriage with a person who's got the capacity to just fight you. I mean, I'll tell you this, and too many times we've believed lies that all marriages are like that. Every marriage you will have to fight. There can be disagreement, offenses will come. You don't have to take the offenses. The disagreements can be spoken out. You can have a discussion and come to some compromises. It can be like that. You don't have to fight. The idea that every marriage has you must fight and tear a shirt and no, see, if you believe it, that will be your reality. I've said that before. It will become a self-fulfilling prophecy for you and just for you. So don't believe it. There's better out there, and there's a peaceful, joyful marriage. You're expected to enjoy your marriage and not just endure your marriage. A lot of people right now, they're enduring because they dated badly, they made wrong choices, they didn't look at the red flags, and now they're in it and they're enduring, and that's not for you. Okay? I'm going to go really quick because I have a whole line full here, but I have to bring my guests very soon. Okay, so we talked about control, capacity to fight you, abuse, any form of abuse. Look out for abuse. If you see abuse, run. Abuse, there's verbal abuse, we've spoken about this. Emotional abuse, we've spoken about this. There's isolation, when the person tries to just isolate you, you run. Physical abuse is the worst. Married or not, if you get abused physically twice, move out. Make a lot of noise, move out. And this person has to submit themselves to some form of treatment, some form of therapy, some form of counseling till it's done before you move back in. Okay, so we're talking about abuse here. Financial abuse. Some people don't want you to have money so that they can suffer you, and then you suffer, you can't run, so that you're not independent. So don't allow that. Don't allow that. Always have your own money. Always have your own money, and always have an environment that you are able to earn your money or save your money that is yours. That they don't come and borrow and take till you're depleted. Always have your money. Even on a smaller scale, people have vex money and taxi money on track. Just have your money. But if you have a person who's trying to just say depend on me, don't worry, no. Have your own money. Where was I? Okay. Number 9, vengeful. Do not. A person that is vengeful that's a huge red flag. A person where if you did something to them knowingly or unknowingly, they want to just retaliate. They just want to revenge. The worst thing you can do is to be tied up with a person for life who is revenging for everything that you do. That's a very bad thing. I'm going to move quicker. Overly aggressive is not good. Quick to take offense is not good. Slow to come back after offense. Watch out for this trait in particular. A person, after you've offended them, how quickly do they come back? Do you have to go beg them? You want a person who, even though you offended them, very quickly they recover from the offense. They didn't take it and they come back. That's a good sign. If you find that in somebody, that person is gold. So make sure that, see how bounce back. Unforgiving, if they're unforgiving, that's bad. Wicked isn't like you go around killing people, but there's a hardened heart in a person that they may not show it to you because they are chasing you and they're trying to attract you. So they're putting forth their most attractive character. But if you see it in them, that this person is hard in their hearts, like the way they treat other people and other things, and they're very uncaring, be very careful, that's a red flag. Because at some point in time, you may be the focus of that hard and uncaring heart. Okay? Anybody that lies is very bad, because if you if you marry a person, the intimacy involved in marriage is one where you want to trust them. You want to want anybody who will try to manipulate you or just run rings around you. You don't want that. So anybody that lies, it's a huge red flag. It's like why are you lying? And how can I trust you? There is the only thing that can work in a marriage is trust. Because if you don't trust your partner, you're just going to die slowly on the inside, just worrying what are they doing, where are they, who are they with, what is going on, on and on and on like that. You can't afford to end up with a person that you can't trust. So it's so important that you trust, that you're able to trust them. So if their line is very bad, if their love is conditional, which means each time you can see that they're loving you for certain purposes. It's like their love is just not like, I just love you because maybe you're just my queen or my king. No, no, but they're loving you for a reason. You know, each time the love is for a reason, be very careful, because if that reason goes, the love is gone. What else again? Independent spirit. If they're people who want their space. If you want your space, don't get married. Marriage is intimacy of the highest order for the longest time. That's what marriage is. So if you value your space, just my space, you know, can I just have my space and my space? Then don't get married. Just keep dating, or just since you like your space so much, stay in it by yourself. But if you want to get married, then you can't have an independent spirit. So that's an independent spirit. You don't want that. You don't want a stingy person. You want a rough person, no rough person. A person that's unemotional and cold, that's a red sign. Mommy's boy is a red sign. And daddy's girl is a red sign. So I'm not going to go into it. I don't have the time. You want a person that discourages you all the time. The worst thing you can do is get married to a person that's discouraging. You want somebody that encourages you, that builds you up. But somebody that discourages you and cuts you down, that person is going to affect the destiny of your life, and you will struggle to get there, because instead of pushing you up, they're pulling you down. And you don't want that. You want a person that's too defensive, a person that counterattacks. I can explain this, but I don't have the time. Anybody who's able to give you the silent treatment, you know, often enough while you're dating, it's not a good sign. It's a red flag. You know, silent treatment is not allowed. Whatever is going on in your mind, speak it out. Locked phones, you know, locked phones. I could do a whole thing on locked phones. When you start dating, it's okay, lock your phone. But once the dating starts to get serious, all phones should be open. You know, like there should be transparency, and that's important. Unromantic, well, you know, that's not a big bodies, it's still a red sign. You know, make sure that you get what you want in the dating that you want in the marriage. Too many times there are things that we want in a marriage, we don't see it in the dating, but somehow we figure if we get married, we'll get it when we get married. That's a lie. That it doesn't go down that way. You know, it doesn't go down that way. After you're married, you can both, if you're teachable, you can learn a lot of things and keep moving forward, and that's great. But just don't think because we are married now, then changes don't occur just because we're married. Changes occur because we're willing to improve ourselves, and that we make ourselves available. Where am I? Yelling and threatening. If they're yelling at you and threatening you while you are dating, that's a red flag. You know, don't just go. 60 Minutes with PD. This is 60 Minutes with PD. Every Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. on PIIDI19, and we're on YouTube at PIIDI19 at Gmail. I offer free counseling. Just DM me. And it's confidential, you know, it's just between us, nobody gets to know. If you've been blessed on the platform by anything at all, please send us a testimonial, just something to show that this platform is, you know, is affecting people's lives positively. We would love that. Please do that for us. And next week we are talking, the topic next week is you are better off single than married to the wrong person. Our topic next week is you are better off single than married to the wrong person, because too many people are so desperate to get married, but then when they get married they say it's not that great fun, and then they jump out because they just went with the wrong person. So my first guest today is Clara. So I need to get my first guest on board. Clara, where are you? Clara, where are you? Did you request? I don't see your request, Clara. Too many people just like they stop their lives because it's time to get married. And don't do that. If you are unhappy with your life before you got married, you're probably going to be unhappy after you get married. But we'll come back to this.
Hello.
Clara, how are you? How is it going? You
I'm
look really
fine,
good.
thanks.
Can you
Hi,
like move?
PD.
The
Thank
light
you.
is cutting your head off. Can you move back a little bit?
Oh, okay. Let me move back. Okay, this is a
Fantastic,
little bit better.
fantastic. Hi, Clara.
Yeah.
You look good as usual.
Hi,
Always looking
PD.
beautiful. You know, we're talking about
Thank
red
you.
flags,
I
red flags,
try.
red flags. You know. Tell me
Yes,
something
yes.
about red flags.
Red flags, I think, well, it's something that you have to learn and educate yourself about, and know what to look out for. I think it's something that you learn with experience, because like when you first start out dating somebody, like you don't expect people to come with all this baggage. And then I think Hollywood has kind of made things seem so easy. They make it seem like, oh, no matter what the problem is, you're able to get past that problem, and you're able to just, it's always a happy ever after, you know? But most times when you have red flags like that, it's really not going to end up in happily ever after without a lot of prayer, and it's a lot of struggle.
And
So
effort, just
rather than
effort.
struggle, it's better to learn about the red flags now so that you
And
avoid that
choose
struggle
well.
in the future. Yeah.
Great. Any questions for me about red flags?
Okay. Yeah, based off of your what you were saying in the beginning, I have a few questions. So you were talking about, okay, having a partner or dating somebody that has a bit of baggage from the past. So maybe they were abused or something, when they were younger. And so my question is, should a woman or a guy stay with the person, with their partner, and try to help them through that emotional baggage? Because I mean, that's a red flag. So is that a run for your life flag, or is that
If they
safe
have
a
emotional back,
caution flag, and try to work things through?
it's a strong caution. It's a strong caution that this issue
Hmm.
needs to be dealt with before we move forward. So it's one of those stop
Okay.
before you leap. Where and if like some people have a
Okay.
problem,
Okay.
they refuse.
Okay.
If they have a problem, if we see a problem and say,
Hmm.
okay, you know what, I'll submit myself to the counseling, to the inner healing sessions and everything. Then it's good. And then most times too, when you're choosing,
Hmm.
it's like a bag full of
Okay.
choices. And if everything else is good, or at least most of it
Yeah.
is good, and this is one of the bad things, then because everything else is good, then I want to spend
Okay.
time here to. But if everything else is not so
Okay.
good, and then there's this problem, then there's it's like why am I going to stress myself with this person? You just get that.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then, so if you're dating somebody now that has a problem, and you mentioned trying to get counseling, like counseling isn't just for when you're married, it's also for when you're
Mhm.
dating. What's a good way of suggesting it to somebody that you're dating without coming off too, I don't know, maybe too clingy, maybe? I don't know what the word is,
Okay,
but
okay,
how
okay,
do you suggest it to somebody that
okay,
you're
okay.
dating?
Like the first thing is this: I really advise people that when you're dating a person, don't get to a
Mm-hmm.
point where you are front. You're like you don't like you can't just say anything. Just like too many times
Okay.
we're so self-conscious that we can't like it's like
Yeah.
you know what I really value relationships and I believe that counseling just makes it better. I know a
Mhm.
place where we could go or something we could do to just
Yeah.
improve the quality of relationships, and that's what I believe. And that's you just telling him or her like this is who you are and these are your values. And since
Yeah.
they love you, or at least they say they love you, then your values should be important to them. You see,
Yeah.
and this is part of the test as well. I see,
Mhm.
a guy that you can't say that to is a problem. A guy that will not follow you is a problem. And you want to find out that
Okay.
is there a problem? So it's actually good to just come over and say, you know what, I think we should get some counseling. Right away you'll know how serious he is. Right away you'll know what he has on his mind. And if it's not
Okay.
if a person is not serious, don't try to hold on to them. I mean, like I
Okay.
keep telling people, like if they're not serious, why? Like most times we just feel there's nothing better out there. But
There's not.
I like if I was a woman, I would throw as many tests at the guy, and if he fails them, then I'm gone. Because I want to know where his head is, or I don't know where his heart is. You know.
So, are you saying that maybe after the first date, if you really like the
Okay,
guy,
okay.
should we bring him for counseling?
No, 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 not
Maybe
the
not the
first date.
first
Come
date.
on, not the first date. Really, see, you got
Okay.
to be a good fisher. You throw the line out, and then you see, like if you know how to fish, you never pull the line back quickly. You pull the line in slowly,
Okay.
slowly, so the fish doesn't shake his
Slowly.
head, and then you get then you look at it. So you really fish slowly. Till you get
Okay, really means
into arm's
slowly.
reach, and then you can yank it out. Exactly. So not on the first date. It's not a first date topic.
Okay, not first date or second date. Maybe after like a few months, wait a little bit.
Yeah.
um,
Maybe date
and
number
I think
12.
yes, maybe date number 12, yeah. And then one thing I wanted to sort of have you list out a bit more is how to what detect signs of emotional abuse, especially because I think physical abuse is a lot easier to notice because
Noted.
the person
Okay.
gets physical with you. But
Okay.
I think a lot of times physical abuse it first starts with emotional abuse. So what's a great
True. True.
like what are some signs to watch out for? What are some certain behavior traits to let you know that this guy might be a bit emotionally controlling or manipulative, so you avoid even getting to that point where you are fully under their thumb, and like you literally don't know, don't see a way out. You know, it's really hard for
Okay.
you to
Okay.
get,
Okay.
because I think that's the issue that you have with a lot of girls and
True.
men. Like they're in relationships with people and they just let the relationship go on for way too
Okay.
long
Okay.
than
Okay.
it
Okay.
should.
Now, okay. First thing is how quickly do they take offense? And when they take
Okay.
offense, what's their response? Do they cut you
Okay.
off? Do they raise
Okay.
their voice? Do you see them physically? Just you can actually see that they're trying to hold themselves together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not everybody that does that. You can upset a person who says, you know what, darling, did you realize that what you said, was
Yeah.
hurtful? Can
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
discuss it? Then there's a
Yeah.
guy
Mm-hmm.
who's like, you can see he's just trying to hold himself like from exploding. Now those things mean something. A person who you
Mm-hmm.
can see that he is calculating. I mean, when he cuts you off, when he's silent, he's trying to punish you. Anybody that
Yeah.
see
Okay.
in a relationship, punishment never should come up. The idea that
Okay.
one party seeks to punish the other person for anything is not a thing.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
when you're dating and you see that you did something, but they did something that was
Mhm.
to punish you. They withheld
Yeah.
something, or
Okay.
yeah. Once you notice that, those are big signs that this person could
Okay.
emotionally abuse you, and you want to be very,
Okay.
very careful.
All right. Okay. And okay, I think it would be the same thing as well for, watching for anger as well in the relationship. You want to see how he reacts if you do something wrong.
Yes.
Like does he
And
punch
people
a
that have an anger
wall?
problem, they can't hide
Hmm.
it. It's like if you they have buttons, and if you press those
Yeah.
buttons, they can't control themselves. So
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
you're a lady, make sure that there are people around. Well, press the button, press it a few times, and see how
Pressible.
well they do. And and and
Um,
and, and if they explode, then you've got your answer.
So, what is your advice, anyways, in terms of how? Because I mean, the thing is, we're all humans. We might end up getting angry. What is a great way to express your anger that is less abusive, and it's a more adult way of responding to somebody annoying you or offending you?
The best way to express your anger is in a conversation. It's like,
Okay.
darling,
Okay.
what you did yesterday while we were out. It
Okay.
was I really didn't like it. This is how it
Okay.
made me feel.
Okay.
And if darling is always like, okay, I'm really sorry, I really didn't mean that. And then,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's over. It
Yeah.
did not need to be a thing, not need
Yeah.
to be anything. You
Mm-hmm.
discussed it. So
Yeah.
like look for a person that's able to, like, most times too, the person that's angry, they aren't able to express their emotions. If you find a person who
Okay.
can express their,
Okay.
their emotions, it's really good. But when they
Mm-hmm.
can't, then they bottle up the emotions, and when it comes out, it's an explosion, and then it's not good.
Okay. Okay, okay. All right. Um, I think that is it for me in terms of questions.
Great. I have some questions here. I have a question here that says, I've been dating this guy for 2 years. He has
Okay.
refused to introduce his friends to me. Is it a red flag? It is a huge red flag because
It's a
because
very red flag. I'm going to even send her an emoji of a red flag so she knows that it's a like she has to run.
yes, because if he's keeping his friends from you,
Mm,
there's some things they're doing that he's doing as well, that he doesn't want you
mhm.
to catch them doing, because it will expose him.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to know his friends, you want to know where he lives, and do this as the first opportunity that you have, and
Okay,
never allow a person to come into your life in isolation where you don't know anything around them. It's just dangerous because you could
okay,
be in a bubble
okay.
that he's created just for you, and that's really bad.
Mhm.
So you don't want that.
Okay, all
I have
right.
one that says, we've been dating for a while. He has never put my picture up on social media. He has refused taking a picture with me. This is a red flag. This is a red flag as well. You see, as you move forward in a relationship, what's your goal? I'm assuming for most of us, we're moving towards marriage. Marriage is a place of amazing intimacy. Like you're one, you're just one with the person that you're married to. So if initially he doesn't put your picture up, it's okay because you just met. But by the time it's at a point where it's serious, then they need to put your picture up. They need to take pictures with you and them on their DP, on their status, on their IG, on their FB, on their TikTok, on their whatever. You know, because they are declaring for you. If they can't declare their love to you to the world, there's something wrong. Don't allow yourself to be hidden, and then you're just hidden, and then they're doing different things. He doesn't like hanging out in public. He claims the private person. You know, if he never goes to public, that's fine. If he's never in public, it's fine. But if he ever is in public, then he should be there with you. Do you get? So to clarify, that is a yes. Talk to me.
That's not being in public. I mean, even going to work is a public space. Does he eat lunch? Like, so he leaves his office to go home and eat lunch. He doesn't eat lunch somewhere. I think I would run away from that person.
I think so too. Thank you, Clara. I want to bring in my other guest. Her name is Judy. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm calling you. Thank you. Okay. Bye, people. Bye, Clara. Bye. Amazing. So we have Judy is coming on next. Judy Alexis. Judy, where are you? Judy is right here. And yes, right here. Judy is coming soon. While Judy comes up, this person here, this is a question. He deletes his chat and clears his call log every single day. He has never allowed me use his phone. Is this a red flag? It is a red flag. Hi, Judy. How are you?
Hi, TD. I'm fine.
Good to see you. We're talking about red flags. Red flags. Do you have anything to tell us about red flags and any questions to ask us?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of questions that people have asked me about red flags. So the first one is, if you feel insecure about your relationship or you're very uncertain about it and you've been dating for some period of time now, is that a red flag that something is wrong? Like, should you trust your gut, or is that just your insecurities?
Because it could fall both ways. I mean, obviously something is wrong. Definitely it's wrong, because if you've been seeing this person for some time, the longer you see a person, the more settled, the more confident that you should be in that relationship. So to be quite frank, we can't always say it's the other person's fault. So we need to check ourselves and see, well, I mean, am I bringing any, is there a lens that I'm using to look at this relationship that's a lens from something that happened in the past? And then if it's not, then I want to look at the person. But you must be able to pinpoint what is it they're doing that's causing you not to trust them. If you say you can't put your finger on it, you should be able to put your finger on it, I think.
Yeah.
But it's the red flag. It's worth looking into. It's a caution sign. Be careful. Look before you proceed. Sign.
Okay. When you were talking to Clara, you mentioned that it's a red flag if somebody wants to keep you secret, or I guess if somebody isn't very open about their relationship. I think if you're dating somebody exclusively, when does it become a red flag if they're not introducing you to their friends and family? Like, how soon? I mean,
okay,
6 months, like, a few months. Like, when should you meet the parents?
Did you start exclusive, or did you like start first and then you say, okay, let's be exclusive?
Okay, you probably started first and then you graduated, because obviously you meet somebody that they're a new person in your life, and then you graduate to being in a relationship with them.
If I've been like consistently with this person for 3 months, there's no reason why I shouldn't start getting to know the people around them. Seriously, after 3 months, I should, because in 3 months' time, I think we've had enough time to gauge ourselves and see, well, is this going anywhere? And for most people, most will have it in their mind where the relationship is going. And to be quite frank, if you're in a relationship, don't be afraid to ask the person you're in a relationship with, like, where is this going? It doesn't reduce your anything. It doesn't take anything away from you, but it's important. And ask them, look them in the eye. Don't do it over the phone. It's like, hey, it's been an amazing time the last 3-4 months. What are we doing? Where are we going? And you're not asking them to marry you tomorrow, but
Yeah.
what's the plan? It could be 2 years' time, it could be 4 years' time, but what's the plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's important.
Okay. And as we are talking about friends and family and other people in their lives, do you think it's always a red flag if maybe your friends don't like you, the person you're dating, or your family don't like them? Is that always a big red flag?
Not a big red flag, but I'll tell you this. Take into consideration, if everybody around you is saying the same thing, you have to take into consideration. Because there's something about love and your heart. When this person is with you, it's like your tunnel vision. And when your tunnel vision, it's good to achieve the focus, but it's bad to see what's on the outside. So if everybody is saying the same thing, you've got to consider it. I mean, seriously, and that's a really, really good question. That's a deep question. You've got to consider what they're saying and look into it and see if there's any truth in it. And if there is, then you need to do something about it.
Okay. And then, so when you're actually in a committed relationship, because we've spoken a lot about dating, when you're in a committed relationship, maybe a marriage or any other kind of committed relationship, do you think that your partner's change in behavior, like a very drastic change in behavior, somebody has said a change in maybe their dressing, a change in their sexual preference, if you're a married couple, is that a red flag that the person could be cheating on you?
When he's bringing new styles to the table, say, baby, this new style, where did you get it? It's a good question. It's a good question. When your partner starts, asking for different things, it's a very good question. And to be quite frank, it's you've got to be aware of things like that because when a person is getting attention, that's different than yours. So it shows because if they've been with you a long time, they've toned down. But now there's a new person that's looking at them. Now they're particular about how their hair is. They're particular about everything. It's a good time to really start to say, start to talk to them, draw them closer, check their phone, hack their line, do whatever you need to do. But find out what's going on. I was counseling a lady. I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but this is what I did. I hacked his line. I said, go, girl. Anyway, let's keep going. Talk to me.
Okay. So somebody else was asking, when you're starting to date a guy, if he likes to split things 50-50, is that a red flag that he's going to be stingy going forward in your relationship, or if you get married to him?
It is a red flag. I mean, it may not be wrong for your life, but it's a red flag. Because it's good to marry a person that's generous, a person that, is willing to just pay if they can afford it. And not a person that, especially a guy that's trying to make you pay your way through. I'm really not supportive of that. Treat a woman like a woman because you want a woman to treat you like a man. So, pay the bill. Pay the bills. I mean, if you can't pay the bills, I expect her to be understanding and then you guys can work it out together. But if you can afford it, then pay the bills. Take her out. She shouldn't be taking herself out with you.
Yeah. I can see some questions coming up here in the comments.
Yes.
Aisha is saying that Nigeria, or someone is telling Aisha that Nigerian women like to hear lies. That Nigerian men lie a lot. So I guess how do you know I guess the difference? Like, I mean, I think one of the things that I think is a red flag is perhaps when somebody says certain things, but then their actions don't meet up with maybe the things that they say or the things that they tell you or the things that they talk about. So I guess, is that something that we need to look at in all the areas of red flags?
Yes, and that's so true, Judy. You've got to look at what a person does. Look at his actions to you, his actions to other people. Don't go by what people say. People can just say stuff, but look at what they're doing. Because what they're doing is speaking, and everything a person does says something. So so to learn how to read people, just read them. Read what they're saying, and then read what they're not saying. Many times too, what a person is not saying is saying something.
Yes.
So just be wise. Read their actions and read what they're not saying. Just get that. Fantastic.
Okay. So the last, I think someone's here saying, but then if you introduce your boyfriend to your friends, then they constantly seem interested in everything about him. Like they always want to know him more. So I think some people are worried that, like, how do you draw that thin line between keeping your relationship private, keeping, like, you don't necessarily want everybody in your business. So where's like the line that you draw between having a private relationship and growing with somebody without external interference, and I guess falling
Yeah,
into a
you don't
trap
have
of
to
being
put your
hidden.
relationship out there with everybody. You really don't have to. But at the same time, you shouldn't be hidden. Okay. And then again, try to choose your friends. Don't try to have friends that won't want to come after your boyfriend. Just want to,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
So you want to like
Mm-hmm.
do that. But yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's actually not a bad thing. I see one here. It says he takes certain calls in private. He would go outside to take the call. Is this a red flag? It is a red flag. Yes, it is
Mm-hmm.
a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to talk in front of you. He's refused to tell me where he lives. I have never been to his house.
That's a
I'm
red
not allowed
flag.
to visit him. He only visits me. Is this a red flag? It is an amazing red flag. Yes, because
Mm-hmm.
relationships should be open. Transparency is important. So know where he lives. Visit him without on short notice. It's like I'm like 10 minutes away. Are you home? No. First thing, ask, are you home? Don't say I'm 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say, are you home? Say yes. I'm 10 minutes away. Can I stop by? And I think I'll find out what you see. Just be strategic in what you do. Okay. He's so
Yeah.
protective. He would take
Mm-hmm.
my call, especially if it's a male calling, before handing the phone over to me. Okay, so this is a guy that's always, when he's with you, he always picks up your call all the time. That level of insecurity is not good. It's a bit controlling. So you want to discuss it and see how far it goes.
Okay.
It's a red flag of some sorts. So you want to be
Mm-hmm.
careful. And I think he says he's a great God-fearing guy, but he has refused to tell me what he does for a living. Is this a red flag? It is, because there should be, like, in all your relationships, don't allow it that you can't just just discuss anything. And it's funny, it's
Mm-hmm.
the way you start a relationship that it grows. If from the very beginning you start off where we can discuss everything, that's how it will remain. But if at the beginning there are things you can't discuss, then it's going to remain that way. You just get that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. Time, I
Yeah.
think I need to get
Mm-hmm.
on Dare. Dude, the time
Okay.
moves so fast. It's like you only just started.
Bye.
What can I do? Julie, talk to you soon. I'm gonna bring Dare up, and the time is
Okay,
speeding.
great.
Thank you very much, Judy. Bye, Judy. Thank you.
Bye.
So let me see. Where is Dare? Dare. Yes, I see Dare right here. So as we were saying, yes, red flags. What level of pride should we run from? Like pride that's like, I believe everybody has some level of pride, but any kind of pride that you can see, that you can feel, pride that you hear. And there's a way that you'll be with a person that you'll either see the pride, you'll hear the pride, or you'll feel the pride. If that pride is that tangible, then it's worth being careful about. So be very careful with that level of pride. What if they prefer to change, pretend to change? One thing about changes is, in time it becomes evident what you're dealing with. So even if they pretend to change, they can only do it for a while. And what I tell people with this, especially with marriage, take it easy. Take your time while you're dating. It's when we are in a hurry that we make mistakes. It's when we're in a hurry that stuff is hidden till it's too late. But if you're not in a hurry, everything gets revealed. So just take a note that when you're not in a hurry, everything gets revealed. Dare is struggling to sign on. Dare, what kind of internet do you have in the UK? Come on. The internet's working here in Nigeria. Okay. I am 27 and I'm struggling to let go of my ex. Well, I need to know more. Why do you want to let go of your ex? And yeah, why? And then I'll tell you how. But letting go of your ex, I need more information. Dare, can you see me? I can't see you. Hi, Dare. I can't see that. Okay. What of a guy that keeps quiet and refuses to say anything, not to hurt the girl's feelings, then that's a problem with expressing his emotions. And one of the worst things that happen to a woman is to end up with a man who cannot express his emotions, because women are emotional. They need their emotions to, they just need to hear your emotions, just the same way they're expressing their emotions. Okay, so yeah, so it's a red flag. You want a person that can just express their emotions. Relationship is for testing. Why should I now put up a picture when I still have other fish waiting? Yes, and that's a good one. This person says relationships are for, like, dating. Derek, hi.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on.
What happened?
Oh,
Hi, how are you?
I'm excited to join you. I really enjoyed last week, and this has been so interesting.
Great. So we're talking about red flags. Red flags. I think there's a slight delay in the internet, but it's fine. But it's red flags. Do you have questions for me, or do you have anything to tell me about red flags in a relationship? Darius' video is stuck. Is it stuck for me or for everybody? Darius, log in. Okay, so I'll keep going if you can hear me. Now, it says, while we're dating, we're trying to choose. So while I'm choosing, why do I have to put your picture up? While you're choosing, don't put the picture up. And that's fine. But the minute that you've agreed that this, we're moving this forward, then put the picture up. So this question is good. It's a good question. If you're dating and you're not sure, don't put the picture up. Don't confuse anybody. Okay? And let yourselves know that, we're still sizing ourselves up, and everybody knows you can't start dating today and then you're just on fire for each other. It's hormones. That's not the real thing. It's something that you grow into, and then you're sure that, this is the real deal. This is the real thing. And then you can start putting the pictures up. If you begin a relationship with someone, how often should you communicate daily? As often as possible. Love wants to speak all the time. If you ever had a person that's in love with you, they want to talk with you all the time. And it's good, because if you love them back too, you want to talk to them all the time. If you're busy, you're busy. And then because love is about the other person, you guys will figure out some kind of speaking schedule, like, I can't talk now, I can talk now. But you should want to talk to the person that you love. Don't try to hide and say, well, I'm busy. If you really love this person, you want to talk to them, okay? You can say you're busy and then you can't talk, and that's okay. But you should actually want to talk to them. Why are we talking about only guys? How about ladies? We're talking about ladies too. Ladies, there's some things that ladies do that if they do it, like I spoke about, if a person is willing to fight with you. If you're dating a lady and she takes offense quickly, she's willing to fight with you, it's a red flag. If you're a guy, you want to be careful. Do you get that? So everything we're saying, we may say here and that, but everything applies to both sexes, male and female. Okay, so we apologize if it seems like we are bashing on the guys. I'm a guy, how will I bash on the guys? But then, let's give the ladies a voice as well. Okay? What if you are discussing these issues, but he bursts out in anger? That's an anger problem. And that's control, because the anger stops you from getting him to deal with the problem. So that is an anger problem, and it's not allowed. Did you get that? Fantastic. Can we know the difference between imperfections and red flags? That's a good question. Darren, hi.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Tell me about red flags. Shoot. We have 6 minutes left.
No, I've really been enjoying this. I do have a couple of questions that I wrote down, so I'm really excited to get on it. So you said that that it takes time, that it's possible to unlearn some red flags. How long should you wait when you've observed certain things? How long should you wait to tell your partner that they should seek counseling or they need to unlearn some characteristics, some negative ones?
As soon as you notice them. Are you
really?
Yeah. Because
what if it's like the first week?
Even if not for you, for whoever else they ever run into. It's like, you know what? You really get angry. Yeah. I think there's help out there for that level of anger, because that display that you gave last night, that was terrible. With a smile, because
that's true.
You're saying it from a heart of love. It's like, darling, this is not good. What I saw, what I experienced with you last night or yesterday, that was terrible. I mean, like I really love you. That's why I'm here. If I didn't love you, I'd be gone. You know, so what can we do about that? It's our problem. And then, you know, if you're speaking from a heart of love, you can say anything. But so don't judge and don't condemn. Let it be love.
And what if you're new to a relationship? I know there are lots of people out there who haven't been in a relationship yet. How do they spot the signs that it's a red flag? Obviously, you've given like some of the more obvious ones in terms of anger and things like that. But what about pride? What if, you know, how do you know someone's just really confident versus them being a proud person?
Just by small things, like how hard do they defend their opinion? Like if they say something that you don't really agree with, and you just say, you know what, I really don't think, you know, I actually think it would be this way. How hard do they defend it? How far will they go? You know, those are signs. Or if you advise, like, you know what, that thing that you do, you know, I just think that you could do it better this way, and see how they take it. If they take it, it's not bad. But if at each instance they resist it and they reject it, know that there's a problem right there. There's a problem right there, because they're going to resist everything, and that's going to be a problem. Because if you talk to people that are in long-term relationships, you'll see that when they're with a person who they can't talk to, they can't change his mindset or her mindset on anything. It's really hurtful, and it's like if what they're doing is causing you pain, then they just keep doing it and they refuse to change, and that's terrible. We have 4 more minutes. This is 60 minutes with PD. You know,
wait,
we're here every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Follow me on Instagram or watch the videos on YouTube. Talk to me, Darren.
So you're saying that you should give like little tests to see whether anyone carries any red flags. Does that mean that you should try and it's not only what you observe, you should also just act out to see how they respond to it in different scenarios?
I mean, like what I'll do is I'll take time with the person and I'll just see how they respond. So I'm sure there'll always be a first time that you say, wow, that was interesting. And then we'll keep going. And if it's there, it's going to show up again. Now, if I've expressed it like twice or thrice, and now I want to make sure it's there, then I could do something just to find out if it's really there. And then if it's really there, it's like, you know, guys, it's like, guy, we need to sit down, we need to talk, you know? And for me, you know, it's a red flag. It could be a deal breaker. So let's talk about this. You know, I love you. We can work this out if we do it together. And if the person makes themselves available and you can see that they're trying, then that's good. Anybody who makes an effort to get better is a good spouse to be. So, but there are people who will make no effort to improve themselves. And these are the worst people that you want to end up with. In fact, if you're sure that there are people that will just not make an effort to improve themselves, they think they're really good already, I think you should run. That is just one of those run for your life signs.
And last one, sorry, because I know we're running out of time. For people who have been in relationships and they've been in relationships and they have exes, and obviously those exes had red flags. How do they avoid imposing certain views and experiences onto new relationships? So the sensitivity about someone saying something and they're like, oh, you're yelling at me, even if they were saying it with love.
Don't carry baggage. I've said this before, somewhere along the line, don't carry baggage. Walk into a new relationship with a fresh mind, okay? And be intentional to make sure that in your former relationship, learn the lessons. You learn some lessons there. It may have hurt you, it's fine. But apart from learning the lessons, don't carry the baggage. There's a difference between learning the lessons and carrying the baggage, you know? So there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Is that good? Did you get that?
Yes, yeah. And then one more question. This one's very, very personal. So I like to message throughout the day. So whilst I'm at work, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of you and the rest of it. And then the person will probably be like, oh, I'm at work, so I'm focused on my work, so I can't respond. Is that a red flag?
No, that is not a red flag.
No, but they'll respond to other people, but they won't respond to me.
How do you know they're responding to other people? Because you're not there with them at work. Darren, call me. You know, like if they're busy, and that's okay. That's okay. But the issue is, do they get back to you as soon as they're available? Do they seek you out in their free time? there's a way you'll be with the person that's busy, that you know that when they're free, they just call you. And if they had like 30 minutes free, they spent it with you. And that's amazing. That shows you one thing, that they had a lot of choices, but in that free time, they chose you. They chose to spend, and that's the most valuable thing that a person has, is their time. They chose you to spend the time with you. But if in their free time they spend it elsewhere, then you can think about it. But the fact that you're free and you can't impose that on his timing. It's 22 seconds more. Dari, thank you very much. This is 60 Minutes with PD, the fastest moving hour of the day. We're here every Saturday at 8:30. Follow me on PIIDII19. We're on YouTube on PIIDI19@gmail.com. It's an amazing platform, and you've just learned so much.